Hi Kev, welcome back to the channel.
Thank
I'm
you.
down today to get a couple of my knives buffed up and sharpened and a bit of a spa treatment to get them back in tip-top condition. And I heard recently that you've done a knife making course. Can you tell me a wee bit about that? Because I'm quite interested in that myself, and I think a few of my viewers to my channel and subscribers might be in the future. Can you tell us a wee bit about that?
Well, this one was a 3-day course. I got contacted by somebody, in fact they'd met me at the Northern Shooting Show.
Okay.
And they were asked about that back then. That was about 3 years ago, and I haven't heard since because everything's been cancelled because of COVID.
That's right.
And I just got contacted out of the blue and asked if I would be happy to run a course. So yeah, I was happy to do that. So we discussed what they were looking to do, the type of knife they want to make, the materials they want to use, the use of the knife, basically the parameters of what they were wanting to make, and I gave them advice and help, and then we set that up. They came up and they were here for 3 days, and from start to finish, from a blank right through to a finished knife with a sheath in 3 days.
Did the clients themselves have any experience in making knives previous, or were they total novices?
No, absolute novices. They'd never done it before.
All right.
So I was a little concerned, to the point where I actually cut the blank out prior to them arriving to try and save some time. And it turns out that was probably a good thing to do, because the 3 days were used, but it was at a comfortable pace. There was no stress involved in it. As in, there's no like rush to finish and things like that. So I think it timed out well.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a good experience.
What type of knives did they make?
For this particular course, I allowed them to make a half bushcrafter and a bushcrafter model, but that won't happen in the future. What I'm going to do is I'm going to design a few models for like a 1-day course.
Right.
There'll be maybe a couple of models to choose from. Again, on a 3-day course, there'll be couple of models to choose from, different materials as the courses progress. So my intention is to offer a 1-day, a 3-day and a 5-day course, and they're ballpark figures.
Right, okay.
So on the 1 day you'll have a much more simpler, or a much more simple basic grinding and a wrap of a handle. That'll be about where you're at with that. So if you're completely inexperienced and you just want to sample what it's like to have to grind a knife or to make a knife, then that'll be the one to try.
Are you talking about a paracord wrap there?
Yeah, paracord leather, something like that.
Right, okay, and that's the 1-day course?
Yeah, that'll be the 1-day course. The 3-day will be a bit more involved, kind of similar to this, where you're actually getting to fit scales and bits and pieces like that, make a sheath. The 5-day will be a much more immersive course, so you'll potentially, again, depending on the type of knife you want to make, you'll be making your own bolts or Corby rivets, you'll be fixing scales. There'll be a lot more involved in that one. And
will you be able to select your own types of steels and handle materials, or will it be a selected few, or any idea yet what you're thinking about?
I'm still sort of setting this in my head. I'm still working out what exactly I want to offer here and what I think will be feasible. So there will be a choice of steels. Certainly if you're going to be wanting a stainless steel, it'll be on the longer courses, because the heat treat and the tempering and stuff takes significantly longer with a stainless.
Right.
You wouldn't get that in on a 3-day course.
Right, okay then. Yeah. A great Christmas present. I'm just thinking that because before we know it, Christmas will be here. And just
not when hundreds of folk here on the 26th of December. It's not going to happen, you know.
So what's the kind of starting times on your course and finishing time in the day? Or is it fixed, or how does that work?
Yeah, this one, I mean, obviously I've only ran one official course. I've done things with other people prior to this.
Right.
As sort of like suck it and see how it worked out, if you like. And they went reasonably well. This went a lot better. I made jigs for this one. I altered my grinder to make things easier for a complete novice to achieve a good result. And so I think that made a big difference in it. Yeah,
right.
A huge difference. The times were reduced, and the stress levels were reduced for both myself and the people on the course.
Of course, right.
You know, because they're coming on, they want to make a knife, but they've got potentially unrealistic expectations if they've never done it before, and so you've got to manage that when you first meet. But then my desire is that they go away with a knife that's both quality and usable, and I don't want to see errors and heartbreak when things go wrong. So I'm trying to mitigate that. I'm trying to put things in place so that they can come along and have a great experience and go away with a usable knife.
Is there a limit on the size of the blades they can do, due to the size of your oven? Or?
No, there'll be a limit on styles. I'm not having anyone coming and making a karambit or any sort of knife that's purely for fighting. I won't be doing that. That's not going to happen. But size-wise, no, I don't see a problem with that. It's going to be down to the amount of time that it takes to grind that out. Right. So they'll have to allow. That's why prior to coming on a course, there'd be a discussion as to what they were looking for, the type of steel they wanted, the size of the knife they were wanting, and what they were going to use it for, to make sure that the knife they made was fit for purpose, and we had time to make it.
And is it okay for someone who has no experience at making knives to come on the 3-day and the 5-day course, or must they do the first course the 1 day to start with? How would that work out for you?
I think that would depend on their background. Right. If they're not used to using their hands at all, I would say that they probably want to try the 1 day first to make sure that it's something they can do. It'll be a simpler course. Right. If they're used to working manually with their hands and coordination and bits and pieces like that, they may find that a 3-day might work. I certainly wouldn't want to book them on a 5-day with all the complexities that can potentially be in that on a knife. So maybe a 3-day would be a good start point for somebody who's a bit of manual work.
Okay. Kev, what if someone had their own design? Because I'm actually thinking of doing it myself, and I've had a knife that it works really good, but there's a couple of tweaks I'd like changed on it. So basically it'd probably be better now that you're running courses, getting it totally redesigned for start. I'll show you the knife I'm talking about. It's one I asked you probably about a year ago to have a look at and put a convex edge on me. It's something like that style of knife. Would that be feasible to do on a day course, 3-day course? What would you?
The first question is, what's that on the handle? It's rubbery. What is that?
Basically what you put if you damage your hammers, you dip them. It's some type of dip, rubber dip, and it's built up. It's to give it some thermal properties. So I like that. I just felt in the winter time it was quite cold, because the whole knife, I didn't have any wraps on it or anything. So that type of knife, when you were saying there on the 1 day course, like a handle wrap, that's what I done with that originally. But I took it off and I put that rubber handle. Would a knife like that be okay to make on a 1 day course, or would that be a 3-day?
Happy to offer courses where you come and make your own sort of bespoke knife, your own design. But again, it'd be something I'd want to discuss with them prior to them coming down to make sure that it was going to work effectively. Right. So that might be a more bespoke timing involved in that. This, I would say, you're probably looking maybe 2 days to make something like this, as opposed to a 3 or a 1.
So if we're talking, say, I come down on course and I book a 1 day course, and I get to the end of the day and my course, my knife is nowhere near ready, could I book on or stay on and do? How would that work?
Yeah, that probably not going to work. Right. Again, if you're doing that, like finding accommodation at short notice might be difficult for a start, right. Especially if you've travelled, somewhere or a distance to come here. And I might have other things on that we're booked in a 1 day and that'd be it. So no, that's why discussing it prior would be useful.
So just when we contact you through your social media and
phone number,
be more happy with that, would you?
As I say, as long if we get a discussion before people turn up, then we're all singing, working from the same hymn sheet effectively. So we all know, I've got things in place. I know what we're trying to do. I've got things worked out schedule-wise for how I see it proceeding over the weekend, so that I've got it planned out and it runs properly. Right. If you come in completely blind, you don't know what you're going to get, and therefore things might not be in place, materials might not be in place, it could be various things like that. So no, a good chat prior to it would be good.
And prior coming onto the course, would you prefer that the client actually draws a template out of the knife, or can they just come on the course and do it straight from scratch?
A bespoke knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, bespoke. Yeah, I'd want to have seen pictures. So part of the discussion would be that they'd be sending me pictures via, social media or whatever, photographs, WhatsApp or email. Doesn't matter as long as I've got some sort of image with sizes on it, thicknesses, stuff like that. So I can hopefully then put my experience to that and say, well, this is a good design, or that bit might need a bit of a tweak, and work something out with them before they turn up. And again, they're disappointed because things have been tweaked or it's not the design they thought they were going to get. So working all that out prior is a good thing.
How would they find out about this course and when the next ones are available?
I'm not going to be advertising there's a course coming up. That's not going to happen. What it'll be is if somebody wants to do a course, they contact me and I'll make time for the course.
Okay.
That's how it'll work, because I'm obviously busy making knives. I'm not going to schedule a course and then have nobody pick up on it. So I'm not actually going to be scheduling that. They can actually ring up, tell them what they want, we'll sort things out, and we'll book a course to suit the timings that they've got.
Okay, Kev, thanks very much for spending a bit of time. I know you're a really busy man with these knives you're making at the moment, and if anybody's interested in this course, why don't you have a look at the link below and have a wee click on that, and it'll put you through to Kev's social media, and you'll catch him on his website page as well. Just go on the web. Can you tell us your web page, Kev?
Origin Bushcraft is the website. There's a section for knives, there's a section for courses, but at the moment only it's the bushcraft course. The knife course, I'm going to have to write it up, sort out details and that.
Right, thanks again, and I'll catch you all soon. Cheers.
Thank you.